This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Credit Karma makes building your credit straightforward and stress-free with help from our credit builder. Sign up today at creditkarma.com and start enhancing your financial health. Credit Karma, your partner in building a brighter financial future. Credit Builder plan is serviced by Credit Karma Credit Builder and requires a line of credit and savings account provided by Cross River Bank, member FDIC.
Kevin is having his nerds removed tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So
We should talk about that.
To it. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Turs Me Bird.
Start again. Turklum to Turdy Birdie.
Podcasts of Hurdly Durdlies. I'm Megan Hatcher Mays.
I'm Lindy.
You know her. You've heard of her before.
I'm famous, bitch.
She's famous.
No, I'm not. Do you think I'm famous? I can never decide because sometimes people tell me that I'm famous and I'm like, no, I'm not. Because I can walk down the street in any city and no one gives a shit.
Well,
But-
no, I don't think any city. I mean, I think it's really location dependent. I feel like you and I cannot get lunch together in Seattle without a situation occurring.
Yeah.
I've taken many pictures of you meeting other people.
Is that true?
Yeah. Like people would be like, can you take a picture of us? And I'm like, sure.
Oh, yeah. I thought you
that
meant
kind of
you
thing.
were sneakily taking
No,
pictures for your narc files.
No. I'm your photographer when we
Yes.
go to lunch. And like Portland to a slightly lesser degree, but when I was visiting that summer of Shrill, we went to get breakfast and several tables of people came over. By the way, which is fine. That's totally fine. I'm not complaining. But like if we were in like Washington, D.C., I feel like that would not happen.
Not a chance.
Or like New York, I feel like people are too busy to be like, oh, is that New York Times bestselling author Lindy West with Ethan Hawke?
They're kissing?
What?
They're married?
Oh my God. That would never happen.
I have been recognized on the street in New York City.
Really?
Yeah.
I just feel like mostly it's not like your level of fame thing. I feel like people in New York are too cool to admit that they recognize and want to talk to someone.
Well,
but I could be wrong.
Someone did once.
His name was Ethan Hawke.
And we French kissed.
Like a lot.
Not regular style. French style.
You wouldn't know him. Ethan Hawke is from Canada. He's my boyfriend. We met at camp. We've got a great program for you today. It's, I would say, 42% less rude than last week.
Last week was pretty rude. We got pretty nasty.
Yeah, we got pretty nasty. 2 nasty girls.
I was
as
saying,
Lindy would say.
I texted Megan, 2 dirty mamas. No, that's one of the jokes I don't like is when people pretend to retch.
We're grading that joke and it gets an F.
I just feel like it's people, you gotta, okay, this is its own segment for later, but like, if you've seen someone do a joke 87,000 times, don't do it again. It doesn't count as making a new joke. And I'm not counting you among that because when I said people pretend to gag on social media, you said, I don't know what you're talking about. So that doesn't count.
Don't. Yeah, I don't.
And
also, I was actually vomiting.
It's true.
That's the main
Oh,
difference.
Megan, the people are lost. Okay, go to rewind. I held up my new water bottle. I've decided.
Sorry. If you're listening to the podcast through the medium of ears, let's recap what just happened over the last 4 minutes or so.
Step 1. First of all, we started to reference last week's episode And I have an anecdote about that, but then we got sidetracked because Meagan said nasty girls, so then I said we were dirty mamas. I held up my new Hydro Flask, which I got customized to annoy Meagan.
I think you literally did. I think you literally got it to make me grossed out.
Yes.
I think that's why you got it. Yeah,
yes.
It's not a bit.
No, I did it to
she
annoy.
hate me.
I did it to annoy Meagan. The Hydro Flask company said, do you want to pay $6? We'll write anything on your Hydro Flask in official ink. And I said, yes. They etched
etched.
They etched it with a laser, Meagan.
God
and
damn.
It says,
that's how much she hates my ass, y'all.
It says dirty mama. I could have, obviously I was torn between dirty mama and fart mommy.
One of our top.
Even I don't need fart written on my.
Well, please.
Well,
yeah.
I would.
Tell the truth.
I would
tell the truth.
I do like to. Usually, when I get something monogrammed, I have it say "Who farted." So I almost got "Who farted" on this, and then I thought "Dirty Mama" was funny, so I got that. So anyway, I held it up. Meagan vomited a little bit, and then we got sidetracked. But what I was originally going to say is that I texted Meagan the other day, and I said, "You know what's funny about last week's episode?" Because I had been asking for a little bit of reassurance that I wasn't, should I not have named names? Should I have been more delicate? Should I have, do I want to open the door to people digging up my old tweets, which I'm sure they are bad. Not really. So whatever. But then I said, it's funny that the first segment was all about how it's bad to be mean to people. And then the second segment was me and Meagan saying, LMAO, those guys died in a can at the bottom of the ocean.
Which is not nice.
It's not nice.
It's not nice.
But context is king. And it's not nice to be a billionaire. It is nice to be a French submarine expert. So that's why we said it is sad for him to die. It is sad for a kid with a Rubik's Cube to die.
It's not that sad for the person who brought them down there with an Xbox controller.
No.
Who uttered phrases such as, safety is a big pain in my ass, or like, safety is the enemy of innovation. That feels like tempting the Reaper to me.
And I don't know, I guess I do feel like if you're a billionaire, give it to climate change.
Sorry. You know what? Pick a hospital and give it to a hospital and say to the hospital, don't let anyone pay a hospital bill for 20 years with my $1 billion.
Pick a podcast.
Yeah. Yes. Subscribe at the T-Sauce level. And these two hosts will absolutely coat your Lexus in McDonald's tartar sauce. Personally.
If you die at the bottom of the ocean, we will not laugh. We will say thumbs down.
And we will say, that was not cool, ocean. That's what we'll say.
Okay, look. The thing about it, I don't like it when people die. I don't think it's good. But I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's that bad when bad people die.
I mean, it's like the inventor of the Segway dying because the Segway went off the cliff. It's like you tempted fate and it got you in the most... What's the word I want?
Poetic.
In the most poetic way possible. And ironic, poetic. But it's like you literally said, fuck safety. And then you died because of it. Like, what do you want me to do with this information?
That's the only guy that it's okay. Stockton Rush is the only guy where it's okay to be like, yes, well done. He passed. The other people, I'm so sorry. And really, and we're not laughing at their deaths, but I am enraptured by the drama of the tale.
Yes.
As a person who is claustrophobic and scared of the ocean, nothing has captured me as powerfully as that story. So if any of the relatives of the Ocean Gate victims are listen to this podcast, first of all, subscribe to the Patreon. Second of all, I'm so sorry. We were not laughing at your loved one's demise unless your loved one was Stockton Rush, who just fucking sucked, man.
Yeah. In which case I do say ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Ha, ha. I do say
and that. By the way, sullying the good name of Everett Washington.
Yeah, and the University of Washington.
Yes.
He dragged them into this mess as well. We don't like to see that.
No.
If you're the Navy, though, very funny that you called James Cameron first before you contacted command. Very funny to me. That is objectively and unproblematically very funny.
Thank you for that.
However, this week's show is nice. And here's how you know, because the first thing we're going to talk about is dog thoughts. Woof.
Dog thoughts.
Woof.
What was that thing you used to say? You used to like to quote Larry Miller from 10 Things I Hate About You.
I did?
Yeah, speaking of University of Washington, he would go, there's this part in 10 Things I Hate About You where Larry Miller goes, you should have gone to the UW, been a husky like me. Woof, woof.
Been a husky like me. Woof. The way he says it is so funny. I was like, I should have gone to the UW, been a husky like you. Woof, woof.
You used to say that.
He does that.
You used to say that all the time. I think we fixated on it because he says UW instead of UW.
There's no, it's like how Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell once called our alma mater, Garfield Public High School. Like, why would you? It's like you're not. Where are you from? Like, why would you say it like that? Are you from Oregon?
Also,
like, why would you put that word at Garfield Public High School?
Didn't he go there?
I think so. I was like, when did they ever call it that? It's just like, by the way, if you're not from Seattle, you don't know what I'm talking about. You would never call a school there public school. Like, you don't need the word public in there. It's just Garfield High School if you must, but everyone would just call it Garfield and know what you're talking about. They would know that that's the high school. There's only 10 high schools in Seattle, something like that. If that, there's probably fewer now.
Be normal is what we're saying.
Yeah, don't say it weird unless you're Courtney Love. And then you can say it weird all you want. But anyways, back to dog thoughts.
Yeah.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs and
That's
go Huskies.
And go Huskies.
Woof.
Go Huskies. Woof. And go anybody who wants to write us a dog thoughts jingle.
Yeah.
Again, no pressure, but let us know if you are inspired.
I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
Now it's time for dog thoughts with Jack Russell Terrier Handy.
Nope. Nope. Back to the drawing board. Okay, dog thoughts. The dog whose thoughts we're going to be exploring this week are Kevin's. Is Kevin. I'm really pleased to announce that my son, who I gave birth to earlier this year, Kevin Calabro Jablonski Hatcher Mays, has graduated from dog college. He graduated from puppy class.
Yay!
I'm so proud of him. We took him to puppy class. Yes, Lindy. Lindy's raising her hand.
Public school.
He went to Garfield Public High School and he graduated.
Yay!
So we took him to puppy class and we started over the summer, and originally we were going on Wednesdays, and he was in class with the dog name. Here's the thing. Should I change the dogs' names for anonymity?
No, they don't deserve it.
They don't deserve privacy. They have no right to privacy. So he was originally in this class with a dog named Samba and a dog named Ludo. But for some reason, 3 Wednesdays in a row, there was some sort of hurricane style rainstorm. And so they had to cancel class 3 weeks in a row, or 2 weeks in a row, something like that. So we had to start over again with a new class. So Kevin has been in puppy class for what feels like 10 weeks, even though some of the weeks were stuff he'd already done. So it was he was a 5th year senior, basically. No judgment. It was he got held back. Anyways, so he learned all the important puppy stuff. He was doing sits, and he was doing downs, and he was learning how to walk on a leash like a little gentleman, and he was leaving it, and he was taking it.
Wow.
And he was going to his mat, all sorts of really advanced dog stuff.
That's huge.
And his thoughts about it were, I'll do it in exchange for dehydrated beef liver. And I was like, that's a great thought. That was my thought too. So that's what we were doing. But in his second class, he was in a class with Coco, pronouns he, him.
Okay.
there was Percy, which was short for Perseus, who was like a golden retriever but permanently tiny. It was amazing. He was the most interesting dog I've ever seen. I was like, is Percy going to get any bigger? And his owner was like, no. And I was like, oh my God.
What? Did you ask for more information?
Yeah, I was like, where did he come? I guess he just came from the shelter. I mean, he wasn't like tiny like Kevin, but he was like not any bigger than like a Sheltie. Like he was.
Oh my
small.
God.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Percy was totally like the smartest guy. Like he picked up everything really fast. You know,
actually, this is what I want to know. Where does Kevin's brain rank? Like, can you situate all these guys?
Yes, I will rank the class because there's also a dog, a doodle by the name of Popcorn. And Popcorn was really disinterested in the whole affair, I have to say. It wasn't totally Popcorn's fault because I don't know. Again, this is no shade. If you're Popcorn's owner and you're listening to this, which there's no way that you are, but if you are, this is not about you. We all have busy lives. Like, who really has time to be teaching dogs to do things?
Sure.
Not me. Popcorn was really interested. I think his owner was very busy and therefore also not interested in like practicing with Popcorn outside of class. And also Popcorn's owners would bring their human child to class too. And their human child was like 5 or 6 years old. Again, stuff happens. No judgment. But let me tell you something. The last thing a 6-year-old wants to do is train their doodle to sit.
Right.
Really not interested. And this kid was very obsessed with Kevin because Kevin is, if we're ranking by cuteness, Kevin was at number 1, like, duh, obviously, it goes without saying. And so she was like obsessed with Kevin, which was very distracting, which made it more difficult for Kevin to do important tasks such as leave it.
That only makes Kevin stronger.
I know. Well, like being distracted is part of it, right?
Yeah.
But he was like really sassing this kid. And I was like, well, that's not ideal. Because we don't spend that much time with kids in real life. So this is like Kevin's first time meeting a child, I feel.
Yeah. No, you're raising your brood to bite kids.
Yeah. I'm raising Kevin to be violent on command to children specifically. So yeah, so that was Popcorn. Okay, so here's the rankings. Percy, obviously, number 1. Like, I feel like Percy was born knowing how to leave it, drop it, sit, stay. It felt like a genetic advantage.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel that way about Barry. Barry was born. And that's why it's so twisted that he refuses to do these things. Because I know that he knows. He knows what I want him to. He knows for sure.
And he's like, pass. I'm not doing
pass.
It. Yeah. It's like how, like some marathon runners are born with like, sort of genetically very low heart rates, which makes them good distance runners or whatever it is that makes them good distance runners. Like that was Percy. Yeah. And he was very cute. But I also was like, I feel like Percy is doping and cheating at puppy class because he's really good at this. And number 2, but although number 2, very close second was Coco, pronouns he, him, who picked up on stuff pretty quickly, even though he was like a multi-poo, like very tiny, like Kevin's size. But he was like really sort of like chaotically into everyone. So he was like very jumpy, but like not bad. He was very, very cute. But like he would sit, but only after like doing figure 8s in between your legs and like jumping on everybody. So he had really good energy, but he definitely knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Number 3, our man Kevin. Kevin did pretty good, mostly because he had to be held back. So he had sort of like an unfair advantage. He already knew like the first 2 weeks of tasks that he needed to learn.
Yeah.
But he really did improve over the course of class, and he really was like sitting on command and laying down. He's a little bit better on the leash. And then there would be like puppy playtime at the end, and he went from being very shy, where he'd like hide between my legs, and he would just jump out and go yarp every time Coco ran past.
Yeah.
And then like immediately jump back and hide again, to like really like getting into it with Coco, especially because they're like the same size and they're like jumping on each other, and like very healthy puppy play. It was very cute. In dead last, Popcorn. I'm so sorry to say it. Popcorn was not practicing outside of class. And it showed. Popcorn missed graduation. Ooh, even. You hate to see it. You do hate to see it. So Popcorn, wherever you are, I hope you're getting your little GED and you have yourself on a path towards success.
If Popcorn had attended graduation, would Popcorn have graduated?
Yeah, I mean, it's pass fail. So all you have to do is show that your dog could like walk on a leash without, choking itself out. So I think Popcorn probably could have managed.
Popcorn was there on an athletic scholarship.
Yes, Popcorn was a Division I athlete.
Wow,
it was pass fail.
Honestly, that rocks.
I mean, everyone was just working to keep her GPA up so that she could play in the big game on Saturday.
Yeah, they need her.
That's why she missed so many classes. She was the quarterback.
Wow. Okay, well. Okay, here's what I want from you.
Yes.
Can you slot the characters of Puppy Class into the archetypes of the Breakfast Club?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, I can. Percy. Okay, let me go back to, and I'll include Samba and Ludo.
Yeah, well. you gotta.
Samba was Molly Ringwald. He was Claire.
Yes.
Samba's very fancy. His owner was extremely glamorous. She always wore like wide leg tailored trousers.
Okay.
And I think sort of just wanted magically for Samba to learn things, but didn't want to have to teach it herself.
Yes.
By the way, again, fair enough. I don't want to do it either.
No, but very Claire coded.
Very Claire.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
It sounds like, who was number 1? Percy? That's your Anthony Michael Hall.
That's Anthony Michael Hall for sure. Yeah. Oh, there's no question. So Percy is for sure Anthony Michael Hall because Percy was so smart. Although I don't know if Percy would get so overwhelmed that he would bring a what do you call those things?
A flare gun?
Yeah, that he would bring a flare gun to school because the lamp on his elephant light wouldn't turn on. I don't think Percy was that stressed, but he was, he was like, teacher's pet. He liked to learn. He liked to be a smarty pants.
Do you think Popcorn is Judd Nelson because he doesn't come to class?
Or I don't know exactly.
Emilio Estevez because
he's a jock.
He's a jock.
I don't know. I think maybe a combo. Popcorn is like a combination of those two archetypes.
Yeah.
I would say Coco is Ali Sheedy. He was a little bit of a weirdo. Parentheses complimentary. Now I'm out of characters, so I guess Kevin is the principal.
Yeah, or the janitor. Is Kevin more of a you mess with the bull, you get the horns type, or a janitor quote type?
I mean, the thing that is that Kevin doesn't have the leadership qualities to be the principal, and he doesn't really care about cleanliness either, so he can't be the janitor. So I kind of feel like maybe Kevin is a little bit of Judd Nelson too, because he's like a ragamuffin. The thing about Kevin is he doesn't respect personal boundaries, which is very Judd Nelson of him in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of Kevin.
He's always
in the burnout character.
He's putting his nose in your crotch.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yes. Coco can affirm that that's what he would do.
Well, there you go.
And as we always say, Moyer really pumps Kevin's nads. He graduated and he got to walk to Pomp and Circumstance. There's a picture. We'll share it on our Instagram. But they didn't have any of the tiny hats. Yes, Lindy, who has her hand raised.
Pomp and Circumstance.
Oh, Jesus.
Because he's a Pomeranian. He's a Pomeranian.
I'm so proud of themselves.
You refer to me as your best friend.
It's so weird. Why do I say stuff like that?
I don't know. Wait, so they played Pomp and Circumstance, but they didn't give him a little hat?
No, he didn't get a little hat or even like a little outfit. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But we walked up and down the little hallway and he got his certificate. He got his diploma. And I did my own bespoke arrangement of Pomp and Circumstance.
Oh, can we hear that?
While it was playing. Yeah. Excuse me. It's time for Kevin to graduate puppy school. He's the smartest little guy who ever lived. So that's how it went.
That's not true, though. Because we've already established that Percy was the smartest little guy.
No. I said smartest little guy.
Oh, Percy's the smartest medium guy that ever lived.
And Coco is... Well, I guess Coco is the smartest little guy.
No. Everyone gets a trophy. That's what the millennials are into. So Kevin's the smartest little guy. Coco's the wiggliest little rascal.
Mm-hmm.
Percy's the preeminent medium-sized scholar.
Yeah, he's the prefect of puppy.
Yeah. He's Percy Weasley. Canceled.
Oh my God, is he going to become the mouthpiece to
yeah.
illiberal government?
He's
Percy,
joining.
no.
He's joining Trump Vance as the press secretary.
Percy, why? Anyway, so it was very exciting. We're very proud of Kevin, and we're still doing our little practicing. Every now and again, we'll do some sits and downs and walk all around. And it's been good for Marge, too, my psychotic other dog, who is reactive and deranged, to get some practice sitting and doing her little tricky tricks, too. Congratulations to Kevin.
Congratulations to Kevin. Congratulations to us all.
And that's Dog Thoughts.
Text Me Back is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, Meagan, what's something that you would love to learn? Like, as an adult, do you still make time to learn new things as often as you'd like, or was that something you left behind in childhood?
You know, when I was a kid, I felt like I was always learning new things, and I had a lot of curiosity, but as an adult, maybe not so much.
Okay, here's something you might not have thought of. Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder, because your back-to-school era can happen at any age. Newsflash, breaking news. Let's go. That might sound like a stretch, but it's not. I can actually attest that since I started therapy in, 2019, before that, I was depressed and sad, and I didn't do anything except for sit down and cry. And since starting therapy, literally, this is true, now I garden, I make ice cream, I'm learning Norwegian, I freaking decorated my house. I went on a road trip to Florida and back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there is this way that therapy gave me the interior space to actually have interest and engagement with the world again.
Yeah, I think for me, it's sort of the same. I spend less time focusing on my anxieties and more time absolutely crushing my reading challenge for 2024. Do you know what I mean?
What's your reading challenge? 52 books? Book a week?
No, it's very low. Please don't make me say it out loud.
Sorry. If you're thinking of starting therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? I know something that kept me out of therapy for a long time was just the barrier to entry. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where to start. But BetterHelp is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule.
All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switching therapists at any time is free, no additional charge. And let me tell you something. It is okay to switch therapists if you guys are not vibing. I've done it, So
rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/textmeback today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/textmeback.
Hey, Prime members, have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free podcast to catch up on the latest episodes. without the ads.
I want to tell you my top 5 Ink Master moments.
Okay. Why don't you kick us off?
Okay, I gotta eat one more chip.
Okay. To graduate puppy school.
Welcome back to Text Me Back,
where gravity doesn't exist and people have no brain.
the only podcast where we're going to talk about what we're watching on TV. No other podcast could ever.
Not a single podcast on Earth would recap television. Think again.
So, something happened to me a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, where Meagan, my quote-unquote best friend, harmed me.
Yep.
By saying, I need a new TV show to watch. And I said, great. I really need you to watch Detroiters because it's about 2 best friends just like us. It's really funny and you'll love it. Or I need you to watch Southside, which is also about best friends. And it's really funny and you'll love it.
Mm-hmm.
Meagan said, I will never watch those.
I didn't say it exactly like that. But as we've established on this show, I love slop. And a lot of times my brain cannot fix itself to watch something that people are telling me is good, like quality, high quality. And I'll be like, I will watch it. I know that I will. It's just one day I'll wake up and it'll be time.
I know.
In the meantime, all I can watch is they got his ass in the parking lot on Investigation Discovery.
I get the feeling. I have the same feeling. I know what you mean. Sometimes we push through our hard feelings for our friends.
I don't think so.
It's not like I'm asking you to watch Ken Burns Jazz. I'm asking you to watch 2 stupid sitcoms that I know you will love.
I know.
Okay, but
and I will eventually.
But okay, so Meagan was like, I need a new show. I was like, you should watch these good shows. Meagan was like, I think instead, I think I'm going to start watching Dave Navarro's Ink Master.
That's what I said. And that's what I did. And that's what I'm watching. I'm watching Ink Master, baby. And boy, does it stink.
As we like to say in my house, more like Stink Master.
More like Stink Master.
And because
it's not a good show.
One of my many brain diseases is absolutely terminal FOMO. And so when Meagan started watching Stink Master, I resisted for a few days. And then I was like,
I think I even told you, don't watch it.
I know.
It's not good.
I know. But I was like, I'm just going to watch a little bit so that I can relate to my friend.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened to me. I started watching it, I think, the day after I got home from the hospital after having my appendix out. And I just needed something very dumb, truly definitionally slop that like it could just be on. And if I fell asleep, that's fine. It's not like you're missing out on some key plot point or something if you fall asleep for 3 or 4 episodes of Ink Master. The thing about it is, I mean, where do you begin? It's like art is subjective, blah, blah, blah. But there's shit that happens on this show that is objectively bad. They are putting stuff on people's bodies that is offensive to the notion of art. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And then the judges will be like, yeah, man, you nailed it. This tattoo is sick. This is perfect new school style, bro. And it's like a fucking toucan on a surfboard in San Francisco on the fucking famous streetcar, and he's like doing the hang loose with his wing.
But he was also from Nightmare Before Christmas, and he's got his mouth is sewn together, and he's got buttons for eyes.
Ow! That's the classic Ink Master guitar riff. The coveted title of Ink Master.
That's one of my favorite parts. They act like Ink Master. They're like, to become an Ink Master. Like, you guys, Ink Master's not a real...
It's not anything. And again, I've already said this to you, but if I were to discover that my tattoo artist was a winner of Ink Master, or maybe even just a mere contestant of Ink Master, I would have serious misgivings about getting my tattoo done there.
So I started at season 1, Meagan started at season 15, and we're working our way toward the center. That was not intentional. I wish that we were watching the same seasons. We probably should have. But that's fine. So the format of Ink Master, at least in the early seasons, I'm now halfway through season 3, is starts out with 16 tattooists, and the episodes have 2 parts. First, they do a flash challenge where it sometimes involves a tattoo, but sometimes it involves something that they claim is related to a tattoo, such as painting on a car, or there was one where they had to do a haircut.
So in later seasons, I guess as the show got more popular, obviously they start having sponsored segments. So like one of the flash challenges, as they call it, is sponsored by Corona. And so they have poor Dave Navarro rolled out there talking about, to live the life mas fina, you gotta you gotta tattoo mas fina. And then it's like sponsored by Corona for something. There's like a bucket of Corona there, and they have to like burn a design into sand, and if they win the Cerveza Flash Challenge Corona Mas Fina of the week. It's like, oh, good
Meagan,
Christ.
The early seasons are sponsored by Jägermeister, and for the Flash Challenge, they had to tattoo the Jägermeister logo on a person.
It's so bad. I mean, the thing about this show is, and this probably goes without saying, I guess it threw me for a loop in the following ways. I don't know if Dave Navarro is canonically queer, but I always perceive Dave Navarro as having like calming bisexual energy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually is bisexual. I know he kissed John Frusciante in a Red Hot Chili Peppers music video. So I always thought he's safe.
That counts.
Then you watch Ink Master, and every episode is like, this doesn't have enough titties in it.
This week we've been testing your proportion skills. For tonight's elimination tattoo, you'll be designing a piece that contains 3 of my favorite elements: large breasts, thin waist, and wide hips. I'm talking about pinup girls.
Where are the titties? It's like, there's literally episodes where the judges will be like, this tattoo makes me sick. It's a drawing of a woman's face, and she's not sexy at all. You lose. It's so crazy. I was like, Dave Navarro, hello? This is not allyship, sir.
In season 1, literally one of the challenges is they just bring out like 16 almost nude women, and then they body paint them or something.
Great.
And it's just like, and it's like they bring them out and it's like, and there's like, it's obviously 14 male tattoo artists and 2 female artists, and it's just all the men being like, oh yeah, this stage has got a little bit better. Like, do you have to take you out to dinner first, or can I just grab your boobs? Like, it's really crazy.
I was gonna say, 2 of the original judges leave, partially because, well, one of them had a blackface scandal, and the other one I think had some allegations. Like they were sued by one of their assistants for harassment, and I don't know what ended up happening with that case. But it's just, but still, like in the most recent season, one of the contestants in the finale draws this really rather beautiful and very like artistic drawing of a woman's face, and she's in pain, you can tell from the drawing, and it's a little bit like, pop art, postmodern. And all of the feedback that this person got was, I'm uncomfortable looking at this. This is not how I want to see women in tattoos. And that aired in 2023. It's like this whole, that whole idea of like women portrayed in tattoos have to be like Sailor Jerry sexy is still very in the culture.
I think every season so far, 1, 2, and 3, they've done a pinup challenge, and part of the judging is like, how horny does this make the judges? Yeah. How attracted are the judges to the lady in the tattoo?
So weird.
But wait, they do the Flash challenge, and then the winner of the Flash challenge gets an advantage in the, I forget what they call it, the main challenge.
The skull picks.
They have the main challenge where they're going to tattoo something on a human canvas, which is I don't know why you would fucking volunteer for this.
That's what they call people.
Yep.
On the show.
The human canvas, and they bring them out, and it's people who volunteered to come get a free tattoo on TV by an idiot. Then each episode has a technical aspect where it'll be like, this episode's about shading. This episode's about proportion. This episode's about contrast. So sometimes they end up in this trap where they're like, well, you did the fucking ugliest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But the other guy did something that doesn't have shading, and so he has to leave. Anyway, it's amazing.
And your Captain Jack Sparrow surfing a tie-dye tsunami wave wins tattoo of the week. Because I can just say my favorite part of that whole thing, where like every week features a different aspect of tattooing. It's so funny because it'll be like, this week the challenge is technical application, and then they'll cut to one of the tattooists and they'll be like, technical application is the application of tattoos onto a person. It's like, thanks, Carl, for letting me know.
That's our favorite part too, because now I've forced my whole family to watch Ink Master, and the definitions are so funny because it'll be like, this week's focus is portraits, and then one of the contestants will be like, a portrait is when it's a picture of a person.
This week's focus is snakes. Snakes are a cold-blooded animal in the reptile family.
Literally.
Thanks, Queen Rock One. All their names are like sticks.
Yeah. I am Betty Vendetti.
This is not a good show.
So since we're watching different eras of the show, I wanted to tell you about some of my favorite moments from the early seasons, and maybe if you have some favorite moments from the later seasons, let me know. My number 3 top favorite moment is in season 2. There's a flash challenge where they have to tattoo over the scars of injured people. And
I'm sure it was very respectful.
Yeah, first of all the artists are like, ew.
Just like as like a meta reflection about this show, that happens so much where it's like, I've never tattooed on that complexion before. Or it'll be like, oh, her skin is like leather. It's like, oh my God, it's a person.
Dude, in the early seasons, and maybe they phased this out, but in seasons 1, 2, and 3, especially 1 and 2, people will openly be like, oh, I hope I don't get the human canvas with the dark skin.
Yes.
Like,
no, it still happens. And I don't know enough about tattooing, but I suspect that if you have the right skill set, you can tattoo a range of complexions. I don't know. If you're a tattooist, write and let me know. But it's like, to get a canvas with a darker complexion is a punishment. Like, they are strategically given to people that like the other tattooers want off the show because they think, oh, he or she doesn't know how to tattoo on darker skin. It's like it's so uncomfortable to watch. Or they'll they give women a hard time for being too tan. Like, that does, I guess, affect like how to tattoo on your skin if you've had like sun damage and stuff like that, but it's still just like they're very judgmental.
Do your job,
of the
man.
Canvases.
Oh, this actually, I was going to put this in my list, but I'll just bump it up to right now. In the season that I'm watching now, season 3, they have to tattoo a portrait of a person that's there. So it's like the person that wants the tattoo has to bring the subject of their portrait with them.
Oh no.
So it's like, I want a portrait of my fiance, which bad idea, lady, by the way. Or like two people are like, I want a portrait of my mom. And one of the moms is quite elderly. And so they're like, in this season, they have the human canvases pick their what they think is the worst tattoo of the day. So during the judging, all the human canvases are in a room. And so this picture of this like elderly woman who's sitting right there comes up on the screen. And someone's like, yeah, I don't know. It just really reminds me of like Leatherface from...
Yeah. This is an infamous tattoo from the Ink Master lore, Leatherface Grandma.
Oh,
you should look it up. Yeah, it's heinous. They did such a bad job, and they did this lady so dirty.
But then,
so dirty.
But Meagan, she liked liked it until they're all in the room. She thought it was really good. She was like, I think he really captured me. And then they're all like, someone says she looks like a wad of raisins. A bunch of raisins squished together.
Oh, no.
And so, because like it was the precision challenge or something. So he did like every wrinkle and like every single little detail of her face. And so she looks really wrinkly. It almost feels like he adds extra wrinkles where there weren't. But so
it's a rough tattoo.
So in the human canvas jury, someone says to her face that this tattoo looks like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then she starts crying. This old lady starts crying.
Oh no.
Not to mention all the stuff that the judges say about it.
Yeah, it's really not nice.
But
your third favorite, this one was a scar challenge, like covering up people's scars.
They're doing scar cover up. So first of all the tattooers are like, I'm sorry, I can't even look at that. That's disgusting. But then all the human canvases, like giving a brief overview of their scar stories, like how they got their scars. And this just made me laugh. Sharif was impaled. Sherry got stabbed in the back with a knife. Sarah had a mole removed on her shoulder.
Sharif was impaled when a bed collapsed on him. Darcy had a mole removed from her shoulder.
Excuse me? Sorry, Sharif was impaled?
A tattoo's gonna cover that? Okay, Sharif.
So that was a good one. I loved Sharif was impaled. Carrie got a mole removed. There was the California Raisin Grandma, which we already talked about. Okay, this was also from season 3. They had the characters from season 2, the tattooists from season 2 come back to be the human canvases.
Oh.
And so a notorious villain of season 2, an artist named Kay Cutta, who was always stirring the pot.
Oh dear.
He comes in, he announces that what he would like for his pinup tattoo, that's what the challenge was. He wants, let me just play the audio.
My idea is a woman sitting in a chair, machine is in her hand, and she is having an inkgasm. Females seem to like to while I'm tattooing them. Oh yeah, that just doesn't happen to me.
He just wants a lady sitting on a tattoo chair having an inkgasm, Meagan.
I just really feel very strongly that you picked that on purpose to hurt my feelings. And
blame Kay Cutta. Blame Kay Cutta, not me.
You are in league, the two of you. Are in league. That's disgusting.
Well, get over it. The other thing I would say about Ink Master is that everyone is constantly saying something that doesn't mean anything at all. And this was the thing that made me laugh the hardest.
This isn't Beginner Master. This is Ink Master.
Beginner Master. We're competing for the coveted title of Beginner Master, where you master beginning. He's so stupid.
Oh, he's so
Why
stupid.
Why is he so dumb?
I didn't get all of them, but I bet you there's a supercut somewhere. Oliver is always saying a word that is not a word. He's always talking nonsense.
Oh my God.
Anyway, he got fired for old blackface photos, but not for like 10 more seasons after this.
Yeah. It took a minute. It took a while to get rid of him. And then I think, look, am I going to keep watching Ink Master? Probably. I'm sorry. It's not good. Is it a show that allows any women, people of color, or LGBTQ people to win the coveted title of Ink Master? Also, no. 2 women over the course of 15 seasons have won the show. I don't think any gay people have. I'll double check. One of the women who won, Ryan Ashley, is a judge now. And I do like her. I feel like she is actually a good judge. And during that critique where all of the male judges were like, I want to vomit looking at your portrait of this woman, she at least had the courage to be like, the whole point of art is to stir up emotion and to get you talking about it, and not one of you had nothing to say about this piece because it's provocative and you might not like it, but that doesn't make it a bad piece of art. And I just feel like that's really not something you would have gotten from Oliver Peck and Chris Nunez in earlier seasons of the show. But it's like, the show could be really funny and really good if you would just let people of color be on it.
Yeah. And by the way, you know what I don't like looking at? your horror tattoo. You're like, oh, it's a bloody skeleton that's ripping out of my skin.
It's a Black Widow with a human skull for a butt. Like oh, no, I don't like it.
That actually can't be the criteria. And that's emblematic of a big problem in tattooing. Which
it just feels like a failure of casting. It's like, it's not like you can't find women tattooers. You could. And LGBTQ tattooers, but it's like, I don't know, the tattooing that happens on that show is so opposite of my experience getting tattoos myself.
Yeah.
Like one of the contestants in a recent season was like, I just want people to know that tattooing is a safe space for LGBTQ people. And I'm obviously glad that he said that, but I was like, it kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, is it not?
Right.
Because my privileged experience is it's safe for everybody to go into the tattoo shops that I go into, but
right.
Ink Master is not living in the same universe as everybody else.
No,
you know? It's
and
crazy.
if you watch the first 10 seasons of Ink Master, you understand why people are saying that, because this is the culture. It's, you know, even when there are a couple women and a couple people of color on every season, but they find ways to eliminate them. And
immediately.
Even if it feels organic, even if you understand why that person was eliminated, you have to cumulatively think to yourself, okay, well, something's happening here. It's not that women and people of color are inherently worse at tattooing. So there's some kind of cultural bias happening here. There's some kind of bias affecting who they're casting and how they're treating these people and how they're receiving their work. There's a reason why these things happen and why they replicate themselves.
I'm a really good artist, and I have passion. I love what I do. And you send me home for doing a tattoo today that I love to do, then fine. And I'll continue to fight, and I'll continue to push myself, to see things differently, to grow, to expand. And even if you don't see it here, you'll see it from me. Maybe tomorrow, maybe a month, or maybe a year from now. But you'll see it. I'm not done. Don't count me out.
Unfortunately, it is good slop, though. Meagan, and if you watch enough seasons, Paramount Plus stops showing you commercials.
Meagan, it's the yummiest slop I ever had.
I love the taste of this freaking slop.
Because unlike other reality shows, the stakes are so high. People are getting tattooed, Meagan.
It's a permanent state of affairs. Some of these tattoos, if your kid drew that shit for you, you'd be like, oh. You know, you'd be like, I don't even want to put this on my fridge. That's how bad this is. And they're putting these on people's like asses and stuff. Necks, faces, chests. They don't give a shit. They're going to put that fucking baby Frankenstein right on your cheek. Yep. They don't give a shit how you look when you leave that place. They don't care.
No, you know what's so crazy is how much the contestants are focused on winning the $100,000 to the point where the human canvas will be like, I don't like that and I don't want that. And they'll be like, man, do you want me to lose this competition?
Like I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting paid.
I don't care. Do you feel like the producers instruct them to be shitty to each other? The vibe of the show.
Oh my God, I can't believe we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's so the vibe of this show is so different in a lot of ways than other like reality competition shows you see. Like, sure, there's like cutthroat competition and say your Project Runways, your American Idols, but it's like they actively ask these people to fight each other when they're backstage or in the loft or whatever. So you have these confrontations that you almost never see in reality shows like this. Like you would never, I mean, there's plenty of shady moments on like Drag Race and stuff like this, but you have these people like piping up from the back of the stage to be like, excuse me, Dave Navarro, that tattoo fucking sucks. Unbidden contestants will like grab a mic and be like, it sucks. It's the worst tattoo I've ever seen. But like, it's like they're encouraged to fight for their teammates and fight for themselves. So part of the game is like, if you're in the bottom, you have to fight for yourself to like try to move on. And they really are like sort of toxically fight. And sometimes they get into physical altercations. On other shows that would have you removed from the show. But on this show, it's like, oh, I guess that's good.
I just feel like the bar is different on this show. Like I've definitely seen shows where contestants were kicked off for being like openly racist or homophobic because it creates an unsafe work environment or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, some of it does feel like they'll get into each other's faces like head to head and be like, you want to take this outside? You want to take this outside? And to me, it's like, that's just as bad as David and Tammy on The Real World in like 1994.
Yes!
Like, and David was basically never heard from again, except for that one cameo in Half Baked. So like, why are you allowing like Inferno and Clawface to like go after each other like this in the loft? It's so weird.
There's a guy in season 2 who threatened to literally, he said, I'm going to come over there and choke you out. He said that, I think, 3 different times. And it's like, these people have to all live in a house together. You can't have a guy saying he's going to come choke them out. It's so specific. You know what I
So
mean?
much of a threat. Like, that's Ink Master, baby.
In the later seasons, do they have home viewer voting brought to you by Taco Bell?
New York is one of the most visited cities in the entire world, and this building has served as its gateway, welcoming travelers from near and far for over 200 years. Taco Bell is a brand that believes in living moms, doing more and expecting more, getting a little more out of every day.
The way that they handle the finales are so strange. It's like they do have like America voted, and here's who's going to the finale, but they're all already there,
right,
tattooing. So it's like, it really is just taking you from 3 to 2. And I guess America gets to vote on who makes it from 3 to 2, but it's like, they already did all the tattoos.
I know,
just show all 3.
I can't believe, I thought they would for sure get rid of that because they start doing that in season 2. Taco Bell, brought to you by Taco Bell.
Liv Moss, the Liv Moss lifestyle.
And so they bring the 3 finalists there to the live finale. They've all spent a month doing their finale tattoo, but then they're like, well, guess what? America voted and they hate one of your asses. And so it's just like the guy that threatened to choke people out all season. Nobody liked him because he was kind of one of the villains. And so it is this kind of failsafe where a villain can never win because America is never going to vote for them.
They don't do that in like the Madden seasons because they don't even bother with the live finales at all, which frankly,
thank God.
Good fucking idea. The live finales are awkward. Nobody can hear anything.
Horrible.
There's one, and I think it's like season 12 or something, where they suspend Dave Navarro from the ceiling with meat hooks like in his bag, and they just like chuck him around the stage on the meat hooks.
Oh, but circling back to the very beginning, I do want to say that you, as part of your pitch to me about this show, you said that Dave Navarro has a calming queer energy. And I don't know if it's just by contrast to like the demolition derby that's going on, but he does. He does. He seems like a really nice guy.
I don't know. It's really weird. I mean, he says stuff that I hate, and his politics in real life are unsettling. To save you the time of looking at his Wikipedia page, he endorsed Tulsi Gabbard in 2020. It's not good allyship, and yet his blowout is sensational. That's a union. That's a union-made blowout, and it just, I don't know. He wears eyeliner. Parentheses non-JD Vance. Parentheses complimentary. He's got his nails painted. Something about it is calming, even though he's heinous.
Yeah,
I guess.
He's kind of, I just feel like he's kind of a sweetie. Like sometimes he seems very genuinely excited. Sometimes like he'll be like, oh, wow.
Yeah. I've been on a little journey with the Madden, because the Madden loves art. So like if somebody does something like sick in like an art way, they'll be like, that's just an amazing piece of art, bro. I love it from like the artistic perspective. And I'm like, look at Madden having art history opinions.
Wow.
It's cute. Good for him. It's cute. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we're watching. Please, I beg of you, do not join us in this quest.
Yeah.
Log off your Paramount Plus immediately. Don't turn back. This This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Lindy, can you think of a time recently when you didn't feel like you could be your full self, like you were hiding behind a mask?
Yeah, Meagan, that's kind of been my whole life. As a insecure dork, I feel like I'm constantly pretending to be someone better or cooler or more appealing than I really am, which really does a number on the psyche, I gotta say.
It surely does. It's October. It's spooky season. There are masks everywhere, but you really don't want to put on the mask of fake cool person.
No,
that's
Meagan,
not good for your mental health.
No, and it's a really difficult mask to take off. And I feel like since I've been in therapy as an adult, I'm getting better and better at actually living my life as who I am, buying embarrassing things. I recently acquired this small porcelain clown doll, and I'm not embarrassed, Meagan. And that's, I have my therapist to thank for that.
That's, as they say, that's growth. It's good to take the mask off from time to time, and it's really helpful to talk it through in therapy so you can really be your authentic self. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's totally online, it's convenient, it's flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. That's pretty key. If you're not vibing with a therapist, you can always switch it up.
That rocks, Meagan. I can't recommend highly enough taking off the mask, and you can take off the mask with BetterHelp. Just visit betterhelp.com/textmeback today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/textmeback.
Achieving a gorgeous grin from home isn't a total mystery with Bite Clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all of your sleuthing friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Bite Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Well,
Betty
Vendetti.
Well, Meg Sin Hatcher crazy.
We've done it again. We've won the Flash Challenge, which was podcasting this episode. Now it's time for the Skull Picks, which is telling people how to support the show.
Yep.
I guess.
We need money, so give it to
pretty
us.
bad.
Give it to us.
If you could go ahead and give it to us. I did hear from a few of you that you're bummed about the YouTube thing, and I am sorry about that. If you would like the YouTube to come back, we could really use some additional buckage to hire like an actual professional, not just a lawyer who learned how to use Premiere to make the videos for us. So if you want to subscribe, patreon.com/textmebackpod, you can help us maybe hire somebody to do that down the road. But in the meantime, we have lots of good stuff over there. Our very real techs, by the way, people who are subscribers to the Patreon already knew that Kevin graduated from puppy class, and they already knew that we've been binging Ink Master because they get all the hot breaking news as it's happening. And we're also doing our Shrill rewatch. We're going to be picking that back up again in the next couple of weeks. So it's really worth the dollars to subscribe. Go ahead and do that.
Sending your dollars to us makes sense.
Nailed it.
Yeah, Too Shrill, Too Furious, Portland Drift got kind of derailed by Megan's colon.
My appendix, which was too fast, too furious, needing to be out of my body.
But we promise we're not dropping it. We're really excited. Up next, I think, is the famous pool party episode.
Yeah, the famous pool party episode, which I'm excited about because selfishly I got to visit set for that episode. That's when I first met Samantha Irby.
Yeah.
And unselfishly, genuinely think it's one of the most important TV episodes I've honestly ever watched. It really meant a great deal to me. And rewatching it, I felt the same, even though some of it is corny. But we love being corny. We love being earnest, as we established.
Earnest saves Christmas. So what's bad about being earnest?
Ever heard of it?
Without earnest, there's no Christmas.
Who would have gone to the zoo if it wasn't for Ernest? You know what I mean?
And maybe, look, I don't want to promise anything, but maybe we should try to get Sam to come on to talk about it, to talk about the pool party.
We should.
If you want to hear Samantha Irby recap the pool party episode with us, send us an email and let us know.
And coming up, we have our Seattle show at the Seattle Public Library.
Yep.
That's October 15th at, I don't know the time, but tickies are free. So the link is in the show notes.
Yep.
Let's break the rules and announce our special guests, because we had a meeting with them today and it was really fun. And this show is going to be really funny and good.
Yeah. Okay. Our special guests are comedian Brett Hamill and journalist Naomi Ishisaka and library worker Marisa Buss, who is my old friend.
We're going to have a nice little time. Yeah, we're going to talk about the news, both local and national. So get excited if you want to hear somebody drag Tanya Wu. This is the place to be, baby. If you're not from Seattle and have no idea what I'm talking about, it's still going to be worth listening to. So don't get alienated just yet.
We are going to release it as a podcast episode, but don't let that deter you from coming, because it's going to be fun. And we might have merch on site.
We're not sure yet.
TBD.
TBD. If the library won't let us sell merch inside, meet us around back 4th Avenue.
I'm going to have a big coat.
We're going to be selling it, a big trench coat. I'm going to be selling out of Lindy's Hyundai's trunk.
Yep.
So you don't want to miss it.
Yep.
So come see us in Seattle. And then we will be in beautiful Beaverton, Oregon on November 7th after the election. We're going to be talking about what happened, if we even know the results by then. Remember, in 2020, it took forever for them to call the race, so who knows? But much to discuss, I'm sure. We're going to be having special guests at that, which we will announce soon. And we're going to be talking about all like politics and jokes and laughs, and hopefully we'll have a lot to celebrate. So that is in Beaverton at the Reeser, November 7th. Be there or be square. And I'm not just saying this as a PR tactic. Tickets going fast, dudes. So better get your ass over to thereeser.org and pick some up.
They're flying off the shelves. Yep.
Absolutely.
And, as always, we got the Patreon, we got the Instagram. We love you so much. We got a phone number. We got an email. You know how to find them. They're in the show notes.
Last thing that Lindy insisted that we mention, but I think forgot, is we need a new mystery, people. If we don't get a new mystery, we're going to die. Do you want that on your conscience? 2 podcasters dead because they don't have a mystery to solve? I don't think so. I don't think so. So if you have a mystery that is low stakes and solvable, text us, call us, 703-829-0003. Send us a message at our email, deartextmeback@gmail.com, or you can DM us on the various social media sites. We're on our deathbeds, and the only medicine that will cure us
is mysteries. Okay. We used to be, early on in the show, we were solving mysteries right and left. We were knocking them down. Now?
We were a regular Robert Stack over here, okay? Yeah. Now look at us.
I'm barely hanging on.
Okay. I can no longer keep Kevin and Marge from interrupting this recording, so we're going to go. We love you. Mwah!
Thank you so much for listening to Text Me Back. If you like the show, please tell your best friend about us. Be sure to rate and review us. It helps people find the show. And most importantly, please support our Patreon so we can keep making this. It's patreon.com/textmebackpod. Text Me Back is a production of Meagan and Lindy, proud members of the BFF Network. Our senior producer is Megan Hatcher-Mays. Our other senior producer is me. Our show is supported by Co-Pilot Collective and produced by Allie Slice. Our digital strategist is Chance Nichols.
Diana Bowen is our video and creative wizard. Our production team includes Lindy West, Megan Hatcher-Mays, our loves, our anxieties, and our fears.
Our music is by Chief Ahamefule J. Oluo.
Special thanks to our perfect angels, Jeannie Yandel, Brandy Fullwood, and Isolde Raftery.
I'm Lindy West.
And I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays. See you next week. Mwah!